So I'm not sure if this has happened to you in the past, and hopefully it hasn't, but we do live in a world with other human beings and things do happen. And I'm referring to possibly where you may have experienced a person who you thought was your friend, only to discover at some point that they weren't actually your friend. They were using you for something. It may have been for a social scene, it may have been for money, it may have been for status. Whatever it might be, you realize that ultimately they weren't interested in you, they were interested in what benefit they were getting by being connected to you. And often that happens when that runs out, they no longer have any interest. And I think there's a classic case in our parasha this week, the parasha of Vayetze. And in fact, sometimes the Torah teaches us how to behave, but it also gives us examples of how not to behave and how to try and emulate ways that are different to some of the ways that some of the characters in the Torah behave. And one such case is this week. Lavan, who becomes the father-in-law of Jacob. When he first meets Yaakov, when he first meets Jacob, he gives him a hug and it looks wonderful. And then, as we know, when he tells Yaakov, Yaakov wants to marry his daughter Rachel, and he says, why would I give her to anyone else other than you? Seems wonderful. What a nice guy. He's hugging his brother-in-law, his future son-in-law. He wants to give him his daughter as a wife. And then, of course, the trickery begins. He actually was lying. He didn't plan to give Rachel. He gave Leah, and then the whole saga continues. But you notice at the end, when Yaakov was leaving Lavan's house, Lavan doesn't hug him. And the question is, why not? Why at the beginning he hugged him and at the end he didn't? And some say in the beginning that he was only hugging him because he knew that he came from a wealthy family. Abraham was known to be wealthy, and he was checking whether the guy had come with jewelry and different things that he may be able to give to Lavan. But when Yaakov was leaving, he wasn't interested because ultimately all he cared about was his own pocket. Yaakov meant money for him. He didn't really care about Yaakov, and so when Yaakov was leaving, he no longer had any vested interest in trying to show that he cared or was concerned about Yaakov's welfare, and therefore he didn't kiss him. And of course, such behavior is one which we want to distance ourselves from. When it comes to friendship, when it comes to the way we think about other people, I think the question you need to ask is, how can I make that person's life better? Instead of asking yourself consistently, what do the other people do in my life, and how do they make my life more fulfilling or my life more enjoyable? So you're using everybody for your own benefit. That, of course, is an attribute of Lavan. And we want to, of course, distance ourselves from that and think about how we conduct ourselves, how we value and treat others and our friendships. And of course, hopefully that will reflect on the way friends treat us. Wishing you and yours a Shabbat Shalom and a wonderful weekend ahead.